So this video is for somebody who's just taken a trial at Zahara and wants to get the most out of the trial and find out as much as they can in the first 5 minutes. So let me get you started. Okay, so this is your home screen and you've got 4 different dashboards here which we can tailor based on who you are. But you're on a trial, so let's just get you to an understanding of where everything is. Under your documents menu, this is where you're going to find purchase orders, invoices and the invoice inbox. Your business menu is really settings for the business you're in, which in my case is QED videos. Admin is where you'll find user management under settings. You can also get a hold of your subscription details, and this is where you'll find the 2 reporting options as well. But the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is 2 things. One, let's create a purchase order. So we've got minimal data in Zahara already, but we can click create new purchase order. And the first thing you can do is choose a supplier. So I've only got 1 supplier in here, click to scan limited. The divisions, it's either multi-grouped or it's the one division that you created as part of your setup. So divisions are departments. Let's go with sales. Currency, I'm going with my base currency, pound sterling. So we can show you how to change that in a moment. There's no projects and the required by date is tomorrow, and the delivery address is the default one, which is the address I put as part of the trial. I've now got my line item. So what is it I want to buy? I want to buy a new iMac and I want that for £1,699 and it's VAT on top of that as well. Now we do have coding as part of the options in Zahara. So there's only one in the system at the moment, which is 5010 materials purchase. So I'll just put that in there. If I wanted to put another line item in, I could do that. I could say shipping for £20. And that's also subject to local tax. And again, I will put that as materials purchase. I'm going to click continue. No budgets are available because they've not been set up, so we can skip that. Now we've got some options for some comments, just a test, and I'm going to click create purchase order. Now there obviously are some additional fields here, and one of the things you should know is that the workflow is pre-set up and you should get an approval email very, very quickly, which is up here, purchase order software. So let's click create purchase order. So that is how difficult it is to create a purchase order. You can literally do it in under 40 seconds if you go quickly. And we've automatically taken you back to the purchase orders list view. So your very first purchase order, which is 0100, is here. And if I click into it, I can see the status of it. I can see my 2 line items. I can see the history. Up here, I've got the approval process. It's coming to the department head for approval, which will just happen to be you. And from my actions menu, I could do various things, but some of it's grayed out because it's not been approved yet. So that was creating your purchase order. While we're waiting for the approval email to come through, let's just go and take a look at business and settings. And one of the things I'd like you to do here is create an inbox email address, because what we'd like to do now is email an invoice in Zahara, so you can try that. So we've given you a little kind of pointer to say, do create an address here. So under invoice inbox, you just need to put your company name in here and check it's available. So I made up a business called QED Videos. I'm just going to get rid of that a minute. Click finish. So I'm going to click, I've created a QED Videos at zaharamail.com and I'm going to click save. That is my email address, okay? So now if I was to go to my email and I send an email to QED Videos, and now I need to attach something. I've attached an invoice here, eFilia 6719. I'm going to send that to that inbox address. Click send. I'm going to come back out of settings a moment, back into my purchase order, which we were in a moment ago. And the other option I've got up here is I've got an invoices list view, but if we go into that, there'll be nothing there because we haven't created any invoices yet. The one I want to go to is the invoice inbox. And now what we have here, we have the invoice that I've just this second sent into Zahara. It's being processed at the moment. Now, one of the things you can do is you go up to the table up here and you can add some extra fields. So what we can do is we can switch on these extra fields here, and that I'll put invoice net in as well. And we can see straight away that this invoice has been read. So because it's got an invoice number, because it's got an invoices net, it's been read by the OCR engine. So it's as quick as that. So if we click on the process invoice button up here, it won't be able to match the supplier because there's only 1 supplier in the system, and it's going to match it on email address or it's going to match it on the name. So don't worry about that at the moment. Just set it to click to scan limited. It's saying unmatched bank details, which is a great thing because as far as it's concerned, that is Spielberg Solutions Limited was read by the OCR, which will be somewhere on the invoice, or it's a reverse lookup of their address or something like that. So we've got the date, we've got the invoice number. There's no purchase order, so we don't need to worry about that. So we can click on Recognized Invoice Line Items. We'll click on Continue. And this is where the kind of clever stuff happens, where we've got all of the line items that have been read here. And down here, we've got the total amount, the tax amount, and the gross value, 131820. So basically all of that has been read accurately. Now, it hasn't been coded because the supplier what doesn't exist in Zahara yet, but that's okay. What we can do is we can select all the line items here, we can update the line items, and we can say, right, the nominal code is the only one that exists, so we'll update line items. Now we can click continue. It will go into an approval workflow called invoice approval, and you can approve that as well. We'll click continue, and we will now create the invoice. So if we now go back to our invoices list view, we have an invoice that's out for approval as well. So within 2-3 minutes, we have a purchase order created, we have an invoice created, and we've then got a whole bunch of settings that we could customize here to really start kind of tailoring Zahara to the way that you work. Before we take a quick look at approvals, let's just have a look at approval workflows. So under business and divisions, you will find the one division that you created as part of your setup. In my case, I called it sales. If I go into my sales division and take a look at it, I've got various tabs and things like that here. Under workflows, I've got two workflows. I've got a purchase order workflow and I've got an invoice workflow. And if you were to click onto this workflow, you will see the one and only step, which is the department head to approve, which happens to be you. So if you wanted to put additional steps in there, you could do. You would edit your workflow here and go through the process, follow the wizard and go through that process. And if you wanted to add a condition to this, again, you could go into the workflow and you could add a condition to it. For example, where you could say the net value is more than 1,000. Confirm condition. So there's a separate video, or there's separate kind of help on workflows. It's quite a big subject. In terms of both the invoice and the purchase order you created, by now you should probably have at least one approval email through. And what you'll find with approvals is that you'll either find them on your dashboard under approver, or you will find them in your email. So if I just pop up my approval email, we have our approval email where a new iMac for $16.99 plus shipping, with all of the details here, completely editable, and you can approve, reject, or review with details. I just want to approve it. So just by clicking approve from within the email, there was nothing more to do. If we go back to Zahara, we go to purchase orders, we will find that our purchase order up here is approved. It's now gone to green, and it will say approved by Martin. And if you look into the purchase order itself down here, you'll see approved by Martin. If you went to your invoices, in my case, the one invoice I have up here, it's still in progress. The approval email hasn't come through. And just remember, to get back to the main screen, just click the logo. The logo will get you back to the main screen. The documents menu will get you in and out of invoices, purchase orders and invoice inbox. And the other menus are basically around settings, and there's the next questions you have to ask will be in additional videos. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful, and I want you to get the most out of your trial within the first 5 minutes. Thanks.